3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running.
Whether you've been married 1 or 20 plus years, at some point, you realized you were married into crazy.
And that's what our podcast is all about. We offer love, laughter, and a dose of reality as we unpack this crazy thing called marriage.
So sit back, relax, and get your ear hustle on. It's time to start the conversation.
All right, let's go.
Welcome to episode 182 of the Married into Crazy podcast with Snooks and Lovey. I'm Lovey.
I'm Snooks.
And right before we came on, she was complaining about the fan being on.
It's because it's cold. Like my fingers are cold, my toes are cold, my nose is cold.
Hey, puppy.
So that used to be my nickname. They called me Puppy.
Because her nose was always cold. But I'm curious, how many couples out there
because it's cold
have the same type of dichotomy, or the differences between the two of you? Like, one runs hot, one runs cold. I always run hot.
Always run hot. Even in the winter time, I'm like, bruh, what the heck? What are you doing?
And then she comes into bed with like those horror movie type sequences. It's like you can hear it's like Jaws. And then she touches me with her cold toes.
Well, I do that. But what I do is, because Lovey is so warm, I don't even have to touch him, like, unless I'm freezing, because the area around him is like, it radiates heat. I'm like, is that normal? That's kind of crazy to me, but I appreciate it because I'm cold. So I just put my feet right there, and then I'll just inch a little bit closer until they're not so cold when I touch you. Are they?
And then she touches me, and then it looks like one of those old cartoons with Sylvester the Cat.
That's only when I
shoot
touch
up and you like cling to the roof.
I try not to touch him with my hands. I try to warm my hands up more. But I mean, sometimes it happens. It happened in Vegas.
Yeah, it did. In Vegas, I was like, ooh. They say you can go there and get married real quick. I swear, I was like, we can get divorced real quick too. You touch me one more time with them cold toes.
Let it be known, we got married in California. I keep telling you, this is community property state. And we've been married for over 20 years. You will pay me alimony for the rest of my life or the rest of your life.
That's a podcast topic for another day.
I just might take everything.
Okay, see? She goes straight to the negative.
How's that negative? You were the one talking about divorce.
Because your cold toes.
Because my toes are cold, I'm going to divorce you.
This escalated so quickly.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you try to get rid of me if you want to.
We went from cold toes to taking everything.
Because you was trying to get out of the marriage.
I don't even see where this goes.
Anyway.
I am now depressed. I'm depressed. Look, hey, as you can tell, we can get a little crazy at times. But this is actually, these are conversations that take place in our house. Sometimes they just happen to take place on the microphone in front of all of you.
Anyway, so I will say this. We went to Vegas.
Well, before you go there.
Okay.
Before you go there, let's pay some of the bills real quick. I just want to come out the gates and say, look, if you get an opportunity, make sure you go leave a rating over at Apple Podcast. Put 5 stars on it and a review. But then if you listen on Spotify, make sure you go over there and you put those 5 stars on, because now you have the ability through Spotify to leave a rating. And we ask that you share a rating. 5 stars, I ask for whatever you want to give us. She says 5. She's always talking about put 5 on it. She's a Bay Area girl, so that's just how she rolls.
Whatever.
But then also go over to marriedintocrazy.com. Very straightforward. Marriedintocrazy.com. Go over to the coaching tab and feel free to go ahead and reach out to us and book a discovery call where we can have a conversation, 15, 20 minutes or so, just to discover as to whether or not, maybe it's a good opportunity for us to work together. If you feel as if, I'm happy in my marriage, but I feel like it could be more, I just don't know how to turn that corner. But you know what? Let's have that conversation and see if we have an opportunity with some of our resources and the things that we've learned through the Gottman Institute or through our own crazy platform, because crazy does have a meaning. It means compassionate, real, accountable, zealous, and yielding. Not crazy, not cray-cray, but crazy.
I kind of felt like there was a little jab in there, though. He was like, crazy does have a meaning. Dramatic pause. It means compassionate, crazy, accountable, wait.
Oh, she all messed up now.
Compassionate, real, accountable, zealous, and yielding. Because I kept focusing on, I really felt like you were trying to say, crazy is just crazy. Like, I'm just crazy or something. Because you did come out the gate talking about divorcing me in Vegas. So,
And you escalated from cold toes to I'm taking it
no,
all.
bruh, I promise you.
Listen, the audience can recognize Cray Cray. I don't have to say a thing. So when I wear the T-shirt,
I only talked about taking everything after you talked about, we can go get divorced, or I can divorce you, or whatever. So
look, y'all, if you guys get into debates just like this, and you're arguing about who's the crazy one, who married into crazy, feel free to go over to shop.marriedintocrazy.com, get you some gear, and that way it just completely negates the need for a conversation. Let everybody know that you're the one that married into crazy.
wow, really? Is that what you're trying to say?
That's why it's going to be like 103 degrees out here in California. I will be sporting my sweatshirt. I'll have my hoodie on. Talking about that poor man. He married into crazy. No. So, hey, welcome back. And, okay, now you may begin. Where did we just come home from?
We just came home from Vegas 2 days ago. So after President's whatever weekend, we took some time and we went to reconnect. We went to Vegas for 4 days and we had a great time.
We did. We had an amazing time. And it's so important. And we talk about this probably once a year. We've done it, I think, once a year since we've started the podcast. And just really revisit the reasons for making sure you recharge.
Okay, so let me just say this, though, before we go into the recharge. Lovey and I went to see Michael Jackson 1.
Oh, my God.
And I had to make him clap. I had to look at him sternly and like, you better not be out here looking so bored, because I think we talked about, we saw Phantom of the Opera
Years ago.
And he hated it. He hated it. So he had the same body language. He was all rigid. His back was all straight. After the first number, whatever, everyone's clapping. He's sitting there. And I was like, oh, brother, here we go. The second number, he's sitting there. And I looked at him. I said, is this another Phantom for you? He's like, oh, my God.
Look, y'all, the show is, first off, it's a Cirque du Soleil show. And I've seen the great majority. I've seen about 80% of the Cirque shows. Mm-hmm. And I love every single one of them. So I thought, you can't go wrong. When you blend Cirque du Soleil and Michael Jackson, it's going to be a tribute. I'm like, oh, yeah, this is going to be bomb. I'm like, let's do this. Yeah. So if I had to rate it out of 10 stars, I would give it like a 5.7.
Wow.
Maybe. I feel bad for even saying 6. Not because it's like, ooh, as little as 6. I feel bad for saying as much as 6.
Don't make me laugh.
Because MJ deserves so much more than what that. Now, there were parts of the show that were really, really good.
It wasn't that bad. Okay, so I'll let you tell your story, but I feel like, kind of like what Lovey said, you think Cirque du Soleil, and my first thought is acrobats and, tumbling and all the wild, crazy stuff that they do. And it wasn't that. So the expectation was that we were going to see that, and we really did not see that. But I mean, I thought it was good. I said I gave it about a 7. He was like, oh, that's way too much, blah, 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 whatever. I just think that was the thing that was missing, because initially, I will be honest, when they came out and they just were kind of dancing, and I was like, oh, Lord. And then I'm focusing on some of the dancers. Well, I'm like, who auditioned these people?
I'm not going to blast them, because you know what? They were doing something I couldn't do. They was up there doing their thing.
I could do what they were doing.
Yeah, you
but
could.
Anyway,
You could.
But no, I mean, it was just that there was just a little bit of out of sync, or, I'm expecting the moves, and they weren't moving quite as much as I thought they should be moving. So that was my own critique. But then when I realized that, I was like, oh, I don't think it's going to be a lot of acrobat kind of stuff. So I'm like, okay, so let me shift my mind to go they're going to be dancing more. They're going to be doing whatever. It's more story-ish, kind of like that. So once I sat back and I accepted that I'm not seeing the traditional Cirque du Soleil show, I kind of enjoyed it. I won't say kind of. I did enjoy it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, there was a sister in front of us about 2-3 rows up. She was up clapping, dancing the whole time. I'm like, what show is she watching? I need to see what she's seeing. I'm thinking, does she have some virtual reality glasses on?
No, I think that
She
it
was
was
in the
probably,
music.
I was about to say,
She
it
was
was
in the music.
probably the music because,
It was all MJ.
it's all MJ and it's some of it may have been remixed a little bit, but Michael Jackson music for me, I grew up with it, make me dance. And
I did feel like they could have played some other songs in the catalog other than what they played, but
it's an hour and a half show.
the great majority of it was good.
They can't play a whole bunch of,
I won't say the majority. I'd say half of it.
the majority of it was
Was
good.
it enjoyable?
Yes.
At the end of the day, yes. Would I see it again? Absolutely not.
But what show would you see again in Vegas?
I'd see Ka again. I mean, if they said, "Oh, would you see this again?" I'm like, "Yeah," because you haven't seen Ka,
I know I haven't seen Cobb.
and I would go see it again with you. I'm going to go see it again when you go and when we go again, and you see that.
Okay,
But
you
if it was
would-
like, would you want to see Mystere again? No, Mystere was good enough. I enjoyed it. I liked it. I liked O. I liked
you
Zumanity.
wouldn't see O again?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Out
O
of all
is
of them,
the
it's-
best show. O is the best. O is the best.
So
I would go see
Now we're
O
gonna
again.
now the whole podcast is going to be us disputing which
Which show is the best?
one's for Cirque
No,
du Soleil. Yeah.
O was magical for me. It was beautiful.
It was the first one you saw.
No, it wasn't. Oh yeah, it was. It was. So what?
It was your
That don't
first.
mean-
It was
Wow.
magical.
Oh, so the first is always the best?
I didn't say best. I said it was magical.
Okay. You gonna make me say something. Anyway, it was the first Cirque du Soleil show I saw, but it was not. That wasn't what made it magical. It was just I loved it. So anyway, I've been trying to get Levy to go back and see it again, and he's like, "No, let's go see something else."
Because there were options. If there's no options,
There
we're like,
are
I'd go
always
see O
options.
again. O was good. And we
Oh,
saw
it was
it.
great.
We saw it probably like 20 years ago.
It wasn't that long ago,
Feels
but
like it.
anyway.
Anyway, so this whole podcast is not
It's
going
not
to be
going to be
about.
on Cirque du Soleil, but it will be about how Lovey was sitting there acting like a little crybaby man.
How? Oh, about the look. All I'm saying is, go see it for yourself, and you make the decision.
It has good ratings and reviews and stuff, but there were some awesome.
There were some great
Yeah,
performers.
there were.
There's a couple of call outs that were just amazing.
Yeah.
But I'm not even gonna, you just got to go check it out.
Yeah.
So I hope I haven't
So it was
dissuaded you
good.
from
Don't-
wasting your money
but
like I did.
Don't listen to him. If one half of us likes it, then it's a good thing. So we didn't both say it was bad. So anyway,
Rough
we-
start. But I will say this, that whether it's Las Vegas or Cancun or the hotel down the street or what, there's times where you just need to unplug and plug into each other. Just because there's so many things that happen in life. We have all these things that are going on. For us, you know that we had a very tumultuous turn of the year. Going from the end of December, there's so many things that happened. Snook's going to the hospital, my father passing away, me getting sick. There were so many things that were happening, and there was so much chaos in our home that we're like, we have to get away. Just to reconnect. And that's what it truly was about, us reconnecting, because we had no agenda other than just we had a show booked, and we were going to go visit our friend and Yvette and actually spend some time with her because she just lost her mother as well.
well, I mean that
was
wasn't
the only reason.
I was about to say because.
But
But it was cool though because we did a lot of I'm gonna say a lot of things that we did. Well, the majority of things that we did off the strip. We went to a different restaurant off the strip, Honey Salt.
yes,
Yeah, we met her there the first night. Then the next night we actually went to go listen to some live music at what's
Crystal
it called?
Palace. I don't know.
Classic Jewel.
Classic
what the
Jewel.
heck? Crystal Palace.
I can't remember the name.
Ay. We went to Classic Jewel and we listened to some music, some live music. Ali Star, that's her name. That was fun.
that was cool.
That was really fun. It was a small place. It wasn't really big. It's like a restaurant that turns into, live music. They did it on Wednesdays and they did it on Sundays. And she could sing.
Oh yeah, she could sing, and
She
the
could
band could
blow.
blow.
Yeah,
The
they
guy
were.
that
It
was on the
really
saxophone, he was playing all the horns. That dude was amazing. But again, it was about us just not really having an agenda because
Because usually, whenever we go somewhere, Lovey can't stand that we don't have an agenda. We always have to have every second booked with whatever. And I'm like, can we just not? Can we just relax or whatever? He's like, oh, we're here, blah blah blah, whatever. Let's go do this. Let's see that. And this time we didn't. I appreciate
oh,
it.
that was nice. A hotel. We had this bomb room, and like when you had these electronic drapes, it wasn't really a drape; it was more of a tarp. But we had these huge, massive, floor to ceiling windows in the bedroom and in the living room, and then we actually ended up had the drape
A
thing go
screen.
down, the
It
screen
was
go
a
down,
screen.
and it became a screen for the projection unit. So we watched Creed on there, which we love. We love Creed. But the cool thing is, I mean, again, it was again not about the things that we did. It was
We were able to
investing in
do
each
them
other.
uninterrupted. We didn't have anyone calling, Mom, where's this? Or Dad, can I blah, blah, whatever. It was just good to just get away, like Lovey said, just sit down and just kind of take time out for us. So, and like you kind of alluded to it earlier, you said it earlier, even if you do like a staycation at the hotel down the street, we've done that before, to where we just get outside of your normal environment and spend some time together, not focusing on anything that has to do with bills, that has to do with business, that has to do with kids. Or if you're able to do that, take some time, then make sure you do it, because it replenishes and what is that? Recharge. You're able to recharge.
It's a great practice. We have some of our clients. What they do is once a quarter they check into a hotel, and at the very minimum once a quarter they check into a hotel, and they spend at least 2 days, and they just don't talk about. Yep, they just exist. They don't talk about the challenges at home. They don't talk about their business or businesses. They go and they just it's just a getaway, and it might be to read a book. It might just be to go sit by the pool. But it's just doesn't matter if it's down the street or a few cities away or in another state. They just get away, and I can't overemphasize how important it is that sometimes you need to take yourself and find neutral ground. Because when you try and say, okay, I'm going to take a few days off and be at home,
It's still the same environment, though, I feel like.
it is. And when you do that at home, the dishes still need to be done, the laundry needs to be done, the lawn needs to be mowed, or the rocks need to be raked, or whatever it may be.
Rocks need to be raked.
64th Avenue.
Okay, that was 20 years ago.
But did I rake the rocks?
22 years ago. No, you didn't.
I did.
The guy did.
I
Lovey did not rake no rocks.
I did
Cut it
occasionally.
out. No, you didn't.
Okay, I paid a guy to do it.
Okay, you didn't do it?
That's the same.
No, it ain't.
Okay, wait, hold on. Okay, we're gonna have to do a sidebar real quick. So it is the same,
Okay,
and let me tell you why it's the same.
tell me.
If we go to the store, it's Valentine's Day, or it's a special day. I'm like, or it's a regular day. I go to the store and I'm like, oh, there's some flowers. Let me buy some flowers for my wife. I go over there and I'm like, okay, I like to buy these flowers for my wife. Okay, that's fantastic. Here, this is what it costs. I pay for it. I bring it home. I put it in a vase, and you say, oh, tell me who you bought it from so I can go thank him. You say, oh, thank you, Lovey, and I give you the flowers, and then you kiss me, and you adore me, and I become your hero again. You don't say, oh, which aisle did you go down when you bought the flowers? Same thing.
What?
I paid the guy to rake the rocks, and therefore I did it, just like the flowers.
Oh my gosh, that is not the same.
That is the same. That's my logic.
That's giving of a gift.
That's my logic, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, we know your logic is not right now.
Anyway,
Didn't you say
neutral
you don't feel
ground.
well?
Neutral ground is what we are really anticipating all of you actually reaching out and doing for each other. And that's because there's always something that needs to be done around the house. There's homework that needs to be done. There's an opportunity to go step into the office, open up the laptop or your computer, and respond to several emails. There's so many different things. You can get pulled in different directions. If you have children at home, there's always one more game you can play or a TV show you can watch with them. No. Pause. No, they deserve your time, but not when you designate it as time for the staycation or the vacation or the, just the getaway, where there's an opportunity for the two of you to just get together and recharge. It's extremely important.
It's very important to reconnect.
And by doing it on neutral ground, you're able to just sit there and just bask in each other, putting your phones down, reading a book. I sat in the living room with my feet propped up, and I was reading my book, Will, which is an amazing book, by the way. But just reading that, and at home, it's been sitting on my nightstand for I don't know how many months. And I've just been sitting here, I'm going to read that. I'm going to read it. Oh, I'm going to get to that. Oh, you know what? Oh. And then when I think about it, like, oh, you know what? I still got to do this. And I'm off to do something else within the home. Mm-hmm. Took it with me intentionally, read it in the hotel, read it on the airplane, coming back home. It was just one of those things where it was nice to get those things in because you weren't being pulled in 5 different directions.
Plus, I think sometimes, like you was talking about being pulled in different directions, sometimes we feel guilty when we try to take time and sit down and, not think about what needs to be done, or, you have this checklist in your head, whether you wrote it down or whatever, but there's always something. And when you bypass doing those things that you have a checklist for, they're on your list to be done, and you be like, I ain't finna do that. I'm going to go and sit down. But you may deal with a little bit of guilt at it not being done. And then later on, not just dealing with the guilt, then you're like, dang it, I should have did this. Or I should have, you start saying shoulda, woulda, whatever.
I was about to say that. The challenge is when you stay home, you start shitting all over yourself.
Shitting. Not,
For all the reasons.
Shoulding.
It's like, dang, he almost cussed last week and he do it again this week. No, it's should, SHOULDN. Shouldn't all over the place. Meaning that, like you said, you sit down on the couch like, oh, you know what? I should
do this.
Oh, you know what? I should be doing that.
I should be doing it.
Why? You know what? Let me get up and go do this.
I shouldn't be.
Right. So we start shitting all over the place, and the challenge with that is you never find rest. Mm-hmm. There's never rest.
And I, for myself, when I'm doing that, I'm not being able to be intentional in the moment and my spending time with you on the couch or wherever we are, because I'm physically there, but my mind is over on that one thing that I'm like debating, should I get up and do it or should I not? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Now, when we were away, I don't think about that kind of stuff. We like, what are we doing today? Oh, we just gonna chill? Okay, cool. We chilling. Or let's go eat. Let's get up and let's go walk here or whatever.
It is hard because you have routines that are set up. You have a process that's set up at home. Every day that we were there, I was waking up at 6 a.m. Not because I had to, because I would turn my alarm off like the night before, but I was just used to waking up. I'm used to waking up at 5:30 in the morning and getting up and going on an accountability call. Well, this week I was waking up at 6, and I thought, oh, I should get on the accountability call. I could just slip in my earbuds and listen, but I didn't because I said, nope, I'm completely checking out. But it was still a little bit of a invisible pull. There was some gravity to the things that we always do that's pulling you back to your routines. And routines are great when you're home and you need to be in that process and getting stuff done. But when it's time to check out and recharge, you have to resist the gravity that's pulling you back to the things that you normally do. Mm-hmm. And so I didn't get on a single call the entire time we were gone. And it was a beautiful thing. And it's so funny because we had some clients that rescheduled as well.
Oh, yeah.
And because we were going to be there on vacation and still meet with our clients.
Yeah, we did have
because we can meet anywhere in the world, via Zoom. And so, and they actually reached out. And I just want to take this moment to just say, we are praying for you, and we're so thankful that you're back home, Melanie. I'm not going to say your last name, but just saying that we're really excited. We wanted to give you a shout out because the love that you've shown us over the years and over the course of the last year, and also just that you're on top of our mind as well. Mm-hmm. And we're so thankful that you're back home also. That just kind of came to mind, so I just kind of threw that out there. And they're like, "What was that?" Just me showing love. Me no lovey, actually showing love. Anyway,
Anyway,
no, but we just want you guys to know that that's something you need to do. And if you haven't considered it, why not? What's stopping you?
well, stop thinking about what you're gonna miss if you do it. And when I say about what you're gonna miss, I don't mean like the good time that you're gonna miss out on. I mean like what you're gonna miss. Oh, I might miss, doing this, or like I said, I might miss this phone call, or I might miss not doing that, and then it's gonna stack up, or blah blah blah. Sometimes it's okay for something to stack up, as long as you are able to take that time and rest. I mean, not stack up too much. We got kids. But nothing better be stacked up when we get home.
And yet they were. Them dishes were in the sink. And I was like, these little fools. They
What's
okay.
this? And so our oldest daughter, she turned 22. She's like, Ma, it's my birthday week. So I'm like, what that got to do with the dishes though? But Mom, I'm just saying I've been busy because she had this big grand weekend planned or what have you. And then I looked at the younger one. She was like, it ain't my turn to do the dishes. I was like, okay, I can't wait. I can't wait till y'all need something. I'm be like, I'm on vacation.
It's my turn to be your parent. So,
Right.
no, it's all good. It's one of those things where we need to continue to just make sure that we reinvest in ourselves.
Because relationships take work. Maybe I won't say work, because when you say work, a lot of people want to shy away from
That word.
work. Relationships take investment.
Mm.
I'll say that. You have to. It's just like what is that? Stocks or whatever. In order to get dividends, you have to invest, right?
Absolutely.
So you invest in your relationship just like you would invest in the stock market or whatever, some investment.
Real estate, whatever.
Real estate.
It's an investment. It is. And this compounding interest that develops because it doesn't happen immediately overnight, but it's over time.
Go ahead.
No, I'm saying the same thing comes to this rest piece, because we have this culture out there. Society is telling, and look, we're moderators for Thank God I'm Married, which is a part of Eric Thomas and Associates. We're one of 3 or 4 moderators for the entire group. And we were just talking about this. Tonight was our night to lead. And we just talked about how the culture is, I grind on Monday, I grind on Tuesday, it's about getting your grind, grinding hard and making sure that you're putting in that work. But what we don't really talk about on the other hand is like, when do you rest?
Mm-hmm.
You have to rest. Look, let's just keep it real. On the 7th day, God rested.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't say God was grinding every single day. It said, no, God worked Monday through Saturday. Or let's just say he worked basically 6 days and then rested.
Right. Mm-hmm.
If God rests, what on God's green earth makes us believe that we shouldn't have to?
That's right.
So we need to take time to make sure that we're resting with each other and taking time to really look. If you're gonna play hard, you want to play hard, you got to rest hard too. You work hard, play hard, rest hard.
Mm-hmm.
That should be the recipe. Not just work hard, play hard. That's what everybody talks about, but we forget about the rest. You got to rest, and that means that sometimes you just got to be still.
Mm-hmm.
Be still long enough to where you can actually appreciate the things that you've been working for or working toward. Rest so you can actually appreciate the awards you've won, perhaps from playing so hard.
I feel like too, just kind of piggybacking on what you just said, the whole work.
Work.
I thought we talked about this. Lovey likes to try to sing or whatever. What is that?
Sing or whatever he was trying to do. I don't know what that was.
But with that whole mentality of we got to work, we got to grind, we always have to, a lot of times when that happens, I'm just, be honest, I felt this way. There have been times where I'm like, you always working, or you always, what about us? You know, when is it my time for you to just come sit with me, or just come be next to me? Just take your time, take it easy.
Your time coming, girl. At 8:25 tonight. No.
Why are you silly? But you know what I'm saying.
I agree. I
You know,
agree
you
with
can
you.
sometimes when we're in that go 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 mentality, we leave our spouses behind. You cannot leave your spouse behind. Don't forget about your partner. And then, you know, a lot of we've dealt with in some of our sessions where, well, I'm doing all this for you, or I'm doing all this for us, and I didn't ask for all that. I want you to sit. I want you to come sit down with me. You know, that's what I want. I don't require. Do I like it? Yeah, the big old giant, and you know, the tangible things. I want some intangible time. I want some quality time, and setting time aside to be able to connect with your partner, that's intangible. That's that, and that's where the good stuff and the important stuff comes in. You know, money will be made. We're going to make money, we're going to lose money, but I need for you to invest in me, in us, and make sure that we are solid before anything else comes.
Amen. Look, do an audit on your week. Take a look and see how much time. Look, you'll audit your money. You'll take a look at where your money's going. Where's your time going? Are you getting a return on your time? We were so concerned with an ROI, right? Return on an investment. But what about your ROT, your return on time? Now, don't go around saying, ooh, Snooks and Levy said I shouldn't have to work so hard and I don't got to do. No. We're saying work hard, play hard, rest hard. So where in your audit of your week, of your time, are you finding time to rest? And it goes beyond the, oh, I'm sleeping 4.5 hours a night. I'm sleeping 6 hours a night. I'm sleeping 8 hours a night. That's not the rest we're talking about. That's good rest. That's something that you should be doing every single day. But there should also be some time where you need to rest your mind, to rest your body. The greatest athletes in the world. We just came out of the Winter Olympics. You know, every 4 years there's the Summer Olympics. The Super Bowl was the beginning of last month, or was it this month? Beginning of this month.
That's what this month, yeah.
And the thing is, these athletes that perform at such a high level, the most important thing to them is recovery. Because they can sit there and put in all the work, but if they don't recover properly, all the work they put in does not matter. Ask yourself what you're doing. There's a reason why LeBron James pays $1 million a year to focus on his recovery.
Really?
Really. Because of all the processes, the people that he has in place, the nutrition, it's all about that recovery. That's an investment. And it's not about just making the money. It's because the man wants to be around. Now,
Right.
he also knows that he's a businessman. So there's a reason why he does that. But you're no different. Just because he's a professional athlete, has chosen a different endeavor, has chosen a different
Profession.
occupation or profession,
Yeah.
makes him no different than you or me or anybody else. Isn't your recovery worth $1 million? Aren't you worth it? And if you're saying, oh, heck no, I'm not, then you need to look in the mirror and recalibrate. You are worth that. Your marriage
I was about to say your marriage.
is worth that. It's worth $1 million plus. And it's actually incalculable. You can't count how much your marriage is worth. There's too many zeros. It's worth more than that, right? It's priceless.
I was about to say, just say priceless, babe.
No, I was like, okay, that's not working.
I like that. Incalculable.
But it's one of those things where it is. And the rest, the recovery that you need to make sure that you can perform the way that you need to in your marriage, physically, mentally, spiritually, need to recover. It's that important.
That's right.
We got to show up for each other in many different ways. And you can't do it if you're absolutely exhausted, physically, mentally, spiritually, heck, financially,
Emotionally.
emotionally. Amen. There's so many different ways we need to
Amen.
show up. So, hey, get that staycation. That's the lesson for the week. And again, it doesn't matter where you go, but you got to find neutral ground.
I was about to say, and let's just talk about even the financial part of it. We just basically said, you know, you don't have to travel to Vegas or travel somewhere far away. You could just go right down the street to the hotel or something. I think most hotels don't they do. Well, I can't speak for all of them, but I know that there are some hotel chains that where you get a discount for being a local resident and checking
If you're in a
into.
tourist town,
Yeah. Well, no,
like Las
because
Vegas,
we ain't no tourist town, and we get that.
we get a discount in town.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm. Okay. So you see who's making reservations, right?
Hey man, do your thing. Do your thing.
But plan something.
Right.
You know, plan something. It's about planning too, and making sure that you're taking the time. You know, invest the time to make a plan and see it through.
And if you're like, oh, it's too expensive, I can't afford to go to a hotel. There's VRBOs. You know, there's Airbnbs that are generally less expensive than a hotel. There's a variety of things. Look, you know what? You might have somebody. You might want to house sit. You might want to, but it's so important to get on neutral ground. However you do it.
So, but in kind of to that point, you know, I'm just gonna just be real, like you said. For some people, that may not be possible to leave your premises or whatever. So, be creative in how you spend your time, even if it has to be at your residence. Make sure you turn all your phones off. First of all, you know, you want to disconnect or unplug from the outside world, or let everyone know, hey, only if it's a dire emergency, you know, mama, don't call me, you know,
Right.
whatever. But whatever it is that you have to do to make it work, do it. So when we were first married, we didn't have a whole lot of cash or whatever, and we recreated our own oasis in our living room. Remember that?
I do.
So we obviously unplugged the phones or whatever, and I had everything set up how we wanted it to be.
Wait. Let's keep it real. The phone company might have unplugged the phone back in those
Okay,
days.
first of all, the phone company did not.
I'm just saying.
No, that's not what happened. Lovey's so silly. Anyway, telling my story. But yeah, I recreated the whole the front of our apartment. The front of our house looked like it was a different it was we were on vacation. So no one they knew don't come over, you know. I wasn't cooking any food. Everything was prepared already, or we had
Like finger food and
something like that. But we created the whole idea of being away. So if you have to do that, just make sure you do it. Get it in.
you know, it's funny you bring that up, and it brings back memories where that was one of my favorite times. When I look back, you know, nostalgically, of course, but that was so cool. Just like when we finally bought a house. That was when we finally bought a house. We had a picnic in the middle of the house with zero furniture, with nothing in there, and we had a picnic in the house, and it was so much fun. It doesn't take money, because we sure didn't have it. It doesn't take money to have these types of. You can create your neutral ground in your home. Now, ideally, we say get away from home because you get that gravity is there. You get pulled in so many different directions. But if you are committed, you can create that oasis within your home. You just have to be committed to it. Like Snook said, not just taking the phone off the hook. It's getting rid of the kids. It's like closing the blinds. The neighbors can't know I'm home. You know, none of this stuff. And we don't answer to anybody or anything. And you have to be committed to really just being there for each other in those moments.
Mm-hmm.
Very doable. So if nothing else, create your neutral ground wherever you can, but find your neutral ground and recharge, spend some time, and reinvest. Get that ROT, right? That return on time with each other. Because you're worth so much more. It's incalculable what your marriage is worth. It's priceless. So look, if you learn nothing else,
Oh my God.
you know that I cannot say that word. But
I'm
it's,
sorry, y'all.
hey, Find your neutral ground. And until the next time,
Be blessed.
bye.
Bye.